Good afternoon. I'm a few minutes early, but that's okay because I see people waiting and I don't want to make people wait. So, Keto for Real Life people, and it is Thursday afternoon. It is the gathering on Thursdays to talk about the menopause keto journey. And I'm going to check out what I'm doing here. I'm going to see if I can pull this up. And it says I'm live now. I like doing this. I like having this open. I will mute this real quick. There we go. Hi, Martha. I see you there. All right, we're getting ready to get started here, and I'm just setting up. This is what I do prior to setting up. And I like to pull the video itself up so that I can see all the comments coming in and everything like that. Hi, Linda, Aisha Haroon. Hi, hello, how are you? Linda, Phyllis. All right, guys, thank you so much. I see everybody coming in. We're just going to give it a minute so that everybody can. Tony, how are you? Maralise, hello, and Nancy Clark, Central Oregon. We've got people coming in from Florida. Woohoo! How's the weather, everybody? I tell you what, here in East Texas, it started raining Wednesday night, and it has not stopped. We got over 5 inches of rain our first night, which is pretty awesome because in September, it's usually dry. The ragweed is going like crazy. It's miserable hot, but a lot of rain. We are now under flash flood warnings. I'm not in any danger, but our rivers are going to be spilling their banks, ponds, lakes. They're all getting high. Hey, Linda, Nancy Booth, Barbara, Nancy Clark, Cindy, Susie, Antonia. Woohoo! All right. So we are right up on the 2 o'clock hour. I think we got just 1 minute, and that's good because I'm letting everybody come in. I said I'd start at 2, but this is just a little pre-chat. Okay, so I'll let you know as we get into this pre-chat. We have super chat stickers if you are wanting to get one of those and send it my way. It's awesome, and I'll give you a shout out, but I will do the shout outs after we talk about the topic, you know, that way I'm not just, it helps me stay focused. It helps me stay on track. Whew, I will tell you, it has been a busy morning. Hot here in Southern California, going to be 112 on Saturday. Oh, it's terrible. We had heat index with the humidity of 109 to 114 this last week. It was absolutely miserable. We got lots today. Okay, so for those of you who are new to my channel and you have never watched anything or seen anything, welcome. And if you like this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And YouTube's pretty awesome with notifications. So if you really want to know, any of y'all want to know when I'm doing a live or when I've uploaded a new video, you can just hit the little notification bell. That way you'll get notified when there's something popping up on YouTube from this channel. Good morning or good afternoon, Rita. Hi, Marlena. I tell you what, y'all, it feels like morning to me because I did something I don't normally do. I stayed up super late last night with my daughter, and we just had a wonderful night together, and I slept in this morning, so my day, it feels like I'm way behind on everything. Not good to do when you have a busy schedule, but hey, it's real life, and it was a wonderful time. All right, hot here in Florida. So I am starting my day off. I'm going to tell you guys right now, today's topic is intermittent fasting. We've discussed this over the last few weeks of getting back on keto, staying on track, trying to balance out hormones. It's been, you know, a rough ride for me, as y'all know. I'm not going to go into all the deets. You can get those on my previous videos. But getting back on track, staying on track, giving myself my best 3 weeks. Another thing that I've recommended over the last few weeks is make sure you give yourself 3 full weeks. And once you get past that 3 weeks, guess what? Things start happening again. So, since I've started doing these series, I think it was week 2 when I said I had a strategy, and I kind of I modified the amount of dairy I was eating. I eliminated processed meats 100%. and I lost 11 pounds like in 10 days, so that was awesome. And then this week, just since I've talked to you guys last Thursday, I've dropped another 3 pounds, so that's 14 pounds down since just starting this series, and I can't believe how wonderful I am feeling again. If if there was the ability for little hearts and stuff, I would just love it, because I'm super excited. You guys, I know that the first bunch of weight, that first 11 pounds, really took care of a lot of inflammation. And I just despaired of being able to drop any weight. But that was one of the things that I needed to do. I needed to take a look at what I was eating. Even though I was still eating keto, I was eating foods that didn't bother me, but now they bother me. That for me was those processed meats, the sodium. It's not good salt. It's just whatever, the white chloride junk. And it was messing with me and causing lots of inflammation, lots of joint pain, lots of aches. And so by eliminating that, it made a huge difference, huge. I was making sure to drink my water. I was making sure to eat tons of fat. I made sure over the first 2 weeks of recommitting myself back to my keto journey that I was not going to stress about weight gain. I was going to just eat fat and eat keto and not worry about it. And guess what? Now it wasn't as fast as when I very first started, because when I very first started my keto journey, you guys, I was still menstruating. I still had hormones that were working somewhat. And so it really all came into play. My metabolism was running along, at a normal pace. I wasn't having metabolism issues. This time around, going down that slippery slope, getting back into my addiction, getting back into my keto journey, a little bit slower results. As a matter of fact, I first, with the eating the processed junk, I really wasn't getting any, and I was still bloating, and I was still having issues. Bam, what a difference. And I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm starting to see my face a little better, and I like it. I'm feeling wonderful. Being down 14 pounds in less than a month, I'm going to take that as an awesome success. Hello, Miss Sharon. I see you there. So, one of the things, I've got a spot right there. One of the things, all right, that I also had said and in previous videos is that when you have been off track, or maybe you're just new and just starting your keto journey, is to not use your toolbox yet. I always think of keto, I always think I have this little toolbox, and there are tools that I can pull out and use when I need them. And it's really key. I mean, if you were to pull out, a saw or to work on your car, you're like, that's not going to work. It's not the right tool for the job. So that's just how my brain, I think of that. That's the analogy I use. So with my keto journey, I have my little keto toolbox, and there are all kinds of tools in there for me to use. One of those tools is intermittent fasting. When you're trying to become fat adapted, when you're just starting out or restarting your keto journey, you really don't, I say, this is not, disclaimer, let's go here, because those people who like to comment on things that I do. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor or a healthcare professional. I am not a licensed dietitian. I am just a 55-year-old woman letting you know what I have found works and doesn't work. So in my toolbox is a fasting tool. I can do 24-hour fasting, only eating once a day in a 4-hour window. That's called OMAD. I could choose a time. There are different ways to intermittent fast. You can do a 12-12, which means you go 12 hours without food, and 12-hour window that you can eat your meals in. You've got your 16-8 fast, which is my favorite. That's where I find myself naturally comfortable. And then you've got, 18-6. So it just depends on where you're at, but you do not want to start that out unless you are fat adapted. And you're like, well, why not? I mean, people intermittent fast all the time. True, but you're really trying to, if you are a person who has addictions, you have cravings, you are trying to you just want to saturate your brain with fat, bathe your brain in fat. Because once you get your cravings and things under control, it's okay to let yourself go a little bit longer and fast and not go off plan. I made a huge mistake, and I know this from trial and error because, you know, when I went off plan and I thought, oh, I'll just intermittent fast and I'm gonna only eat, you know, once a day or twice a day on keto, and I'm gonna, and then I would get hungry, and then I would make poor choices again because then I was tempted and I wasn't strong enough to resist the temptation because I was not fat adapted. Does that make sense? If that makes sense and you find some value here, make sure you hit that like button, okay? That like button is really important. I like to know that you guys are finding value in what I'm bringing you. This is one thing I'm really learning about, my reason for doing YouTube videos. What is it that I'm doing this for? I always say, am I bringing value? And so if you find value in what you're hearing today, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It lets me know that you do. All right. So, aw, thank you, Rita, for that super sticker. I appreciate it. So, guys, now that I'm 3 weeks in, my body is responding beautifully. Thank you, Jesus. And I find that I'm starting to naturally intermittent fast without struggling. That is a wonderful thing. I'm not struggling to do it. As a matter of fact, I just want to let you know that, like, right now I'm 2 o'clock. I will sit there and go 7 to 7 is 12 plus to noon is 5, 17, 18, 19 hours now I've gone without food. I'm already at the 19 hours since I last ate. And do you know what I ate? I ate a piece of hard salami. Even though I told you I've given it all up, I ate one slice of it because I had a very long day yesterday. And by the time I got home, it was like 6 something, and I had been gone since that morning. So I had my little bento box lunch that I took with me, which had 4 deviled eggs in it, some sliced bacon, 3 little mozzarella ball cheese, a whole bunch of pickled pepper rings. And then when I got in from all of my errands, I didn't want to cook dinner, so my daughter handed me a slice of provolone cheese smeared with a little mayo and 1 slice of salami and a 1/4 cup of macadamia nuts. So that was my 2 meals: deviled eggs and bacon with some pepper rings and a 1 meat cheese roll up with some macadamia nuts. And that's all I had yesterday. And now I'm 19 hours in and probably will eat something after I get done today, after we get done chatting. So it's making a huge difference, and because I'm not struggling with the cravings now. I'm not struggling with the temptation. Yesterday, it all ties in, guys. Intermittent fasting after fat adapting or going into it. After 3 weeks, I say you can go back to your fasting schedules and listen to your body and your rhythms. Temptations aren't as big a deal. For instance, I did pack my little lunch yesterday. I had to take my mom to town. She had doctor's appointments. They were kind of stretched out, so we couldn't really travel back to Lindale and then go all the way back to Tyler. So we just found a little restaurant, her favorite burger place, and she ate, you know, what she was eating, and that's fine. But she had the most beautiful onion rings, which made me think, I've got to get on that. I've got to get me a recipe going here. Those, I wanted them. I really did want them, y'all. But I'm sitting there looking at what I've got, and I knew that it was going to be just what my body needed. And I was able to just go, nah, it's not worth it. I'm not doing it. She's all, I'd give you one, but I know you don't need one. And I was like, thank you, Mama. No, I do not need one. And if this had been 2 months ago when I was just voracious and off plan, I would have said not only that, I'd be sitting here with my own order of French or onion rings, you know? So that's just one of the wonderful things about making sure that you become fat adapted again. And use your intermittent tool to help you start taking that weight down again. Now, my goals going forward, y'all, is to continue with intermittent fasting, to continue monitoring now my intake of processed meats. One of the good things about eliminating something is after a couple of weeks, you can slowly bring it back in and see how do you respond. Well, my eating one slice of salami last night, I did not swell up like a balloon at all, and I didn't overdo it either. So I'm using moderation. I used elimination, and I'm trying to just figure it out. So maybe for you, it's heavy cream or dairy, or maybe it's certain vegetables, nightshades, whatever. Certain things cause you to respond negatively, your body to react. So pay attention, just pay attention. Angie says, great willpower and non-scale victory, Nancy, not to be tempted by those onion rings. Thank you, Angie, because yeah, it can be really hard, you guys. You know, I've gotten private messages. There's been comments in the group on Facebook. There's, you know, comments here under my videos, and the struggle is real, not just for me, but for so many of us. You know, and I always say, don't beat yourself up. Don't. You've got to acknowledge it, and you've got to just pick it up where you left off and eat that fat. I did have some extra butter yesterday, by the way, because I was at the granary, and they had the little half-pound cubed Amish butter, which was awesome for $2 something. I took it. It was comparable to Kerrygold prices, so I was happy. So anyways, I bought it, and I just had to. It's like the best butter in the world. So I would say probably midday yesterday when I took a little sliver of it, and I was like, and I ate some fat. Yeah. So that's another thing. Somebody asked me, and I want to address it because it really fits in with today's theme, is, you know, why am I always hungry on keto? Well, I would say your number one problem, if you're still hungry trying to get back on track, is that you are not eating enough fat. Remember, the keto diet is 70% fat, so you really want to make sure you're getting enough. And if you're struggling, think of ways that you can incorporate it without going crazy on your other macros. So for instance, you know me, I'm not a huge fan of BPCs, but for some people, it's the only way they can make sure to get that in, especially if you have a busy schedule. Case in point, I posted a picture of this on Facebook just a little while. I just love this little travel mug. I hate that little fly flying around. This is a coffee that is flippin' delicious. BPCs are good. It is a bulletproof coffee. It is a fatty coffee. I have not ate today, but I have had this. So it's kept my hunger at bay. I've got some fat in here. As a matter of fact, I probably broke my fast because I went ahead and put some sugar-free flavoring in here. But it is just that beautiful Amish butter, a couple of tablespoons. It's got a dollop of cream and a few squirts of the what's called bourbon maple syrup. It's sugar-free, and a little shake of pumpkin spice, and I blended it. It's kept me going, and I'm going to say that this has been working for me. Maybe because I am at a new stage in my hormone level and my menopause journey, it works better for me now than it did prior. So I actually am, I'm just now seeing that that is not tilted towards me. I don't know how the sound is for you guys. I'm going to do it that way and then that way. It's there. Okay. So anyway, it's been a good little tool for me, because I do think that at some point calories do count, you know, especially when your metabolism is super slow. When I first started my keto journey, I didn't have to worry about, I didn't count my calories, I didn't count my macros, I just made sure I slung fat on everything, I put fat on my meat, I put fat in my vegetables, and I just ate and ate and ate, and I never worried about it. Now, if I try to do the exact same thing, that's where part of my frustration came from. If I try to do the exact same thing, that scale is not moving. I'm not going anywhere, but I've had to rely on my intermittent fasting. I'm relying on things like bulletproof coffee as a meal, or a midday gap filler. It's a wonderful gap filler. It could be bone broth just with some butter in it, and that'll help you get to your last meal and be done. Right now in the intermittent fasting thing, I find my sweet spot to eat between 11 and 5. That's where I want to eat, and I'm usually done by then. So for me, I'm having this, and then when I get done here, I'm going to cook something. I don't know what yet. I've got a roast out, and I have some ribs out because I'm going to record me cooking them for y'all. And then I'll eat something like that. All right, guys, let me look at the time. I'm going to see if there's any questions or comments at this point, and then we'll just keep on going, all right? Let's see. Hey, Dory girl is here too. Hello. Rita says, you've helped me since listening to these. Good. That's the point, Rita. That's the whole point. Yeah, it's a good way for me to log my journey, and I'll always have it to look at, but it's really good if we're actually helping one another and making a difference. Just that little reminder. I've had group members or subscribers. Over here on YouTube, you're subscribers. Over on Facebook, y'all are called group members. But I've had group members say to me, Nancy, I hear your voice in my head. Like I go to reach for something and I hear you go, no, eat some fat. And that's a good thing. Really good thing. Okay, we got lots of Nancy's on today. We do. Nancy Booth. Well, there's me, of course. And Nancy Clark. And let's see. Well, 3 is still a good number, I think. It's a perfect number. But alrighty. Let's see. Muggy. Garden hot fall. Beautiful fall day in Calgary. Oh, I'm sure. I'm so sure. Alberta. Susie, hot. Let's see, hot. We're gonna get out of there. Get lots of Nancy's today. All right. Martha retracted. Hot here in Florida. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so Life Adventures in Keto says, I'm starting a keto biotic plan. I'm having similar issues as you. Well, I don't know what that is, but good for you. You can elaborate a little bit. You're looking great, Nancy. Eating as clean as possible is healthier for our bodies. It really, really is, you guys. Now, somebody also mentioned that I can't remember if it was here or on Facebook, but it was like, you say you're struggling with your weight loss, which is true. I have been. But at the same time, here you are, creating recipes. And they said, thank you. It wasn't rude. It wasn't catty. It was just an observation like, thank you for taking the time. And I responded with a GIF because I love responding with GIFs. Tribute. I'll be tribute. I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. Because as wonderful as eating clean is, and it's my preferred method, I still enjoy things now and then, such as desserts or flavorful stuff with chips or a bagel. So I'm going to keep on developing recipes, but it doesn't mean that I have to eat it all the time. And that's one of the, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. That's one of the things I don't really do. Like for me personally, I don't crave like pie every day. I don't crave pizza on a weekly basis. Basically, I'm just really super satisfied with a good cut of meat and some good veg. And I do adore my cauliflower. I love cauliflower, and I love, just mixing it in. One night I can make it taste like Spanish rice with beefy cauli rice, or maybe I can add some Chinese 5-spice and go Asian. So, you can still eat clean and still eat really tasty food. Oh, Sassy Gal says I look great all the time. Thank you so much. I always do this, huh? You guys get to see the top of my head. Sorry, but I'm blind as a bat. Rita says, I love the toolbox scenario. It like parts of a changer to find out which one works. Yes, as we go in, we've got all kinds of different tools. Like I said, we've got intermittent fasting. This is a tool. A BPC, I consider it a tool. I don't consider it part of the keto cookbook. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, don't rely on these. Don't get addicted to these. Even my husband asked me to make him one today. And he drank it. And he's like, ooh, that's so good. Yeah, it is. But if it hinders your journey, If it keeps you from losing more weight that you want, or if the dairy is causing you issues, put this little tool away for a while, and just bring it out when you need it. Today was perfect for me to use this. Lisa says you always have good information. Thank you. Let's see here. Amish butter, yes. One of these days, I'm doing a road trip to Lindale to go to the granary. You're just gonna have. Oh, we have another Nancy. You're right. There's a Nancy Ducker too. We do have lots of them. There are 9 granaries in East Texas. So Lindale is probably the smallest store. There's a couple in Tyler. There's one in Conroe, Texas, way down there. There's also one, I want to say, in Overton, Texas, which is east of me. And I think that's the main store. That's where it all started. So, the granaries are awesome. This dude had a vision back in the 70s to open up a health food store and not gouge people. And to this day, this man commits to keeping his prices as low as possible so that people will be encouraged to shop for healthier alternatives, So he carries a good bunch of stuff, and he's constantly expanding, and I just love going there. A lot of times I can save money going to the granary versus going to, what is that store? Natural Grocers or Drug Emporium, and I still have not got to make a trip to Sprouts yet. They just opened up this summer here in Tyler, and I'm chomping at the bits to get the opportunity to go. I gotta make sure when I do go that I can spend as long as I want in their store, if it's interesting. You know what I mean? Tim and Toy. Hello, I can understand I don't crave very often, but when I do eat it, just don't overdo it and not every day. Keto lifestyle and to with keto. Toy with keto. Yes, and that's it. Everything, guys, is moderation. I don't care what it is. Too much of anything is probably too much, and not enough can not be enough. So you just want to try your best to stay on that path of balance and moderation. It's easy to do if you're eating your fats and you're getting your macros down. You also need that protein, you guys. You really do have to have your protein as well. I'm finding now, with my metabolism the way it is, with my 55 sitting here all fly, that the fat to me is even more important. And I don't need to eat copious amounts of protein. Like if I have a huge heavy protein for breakfast, like I want to eat a lot of eggs and bacon and sausage and just butter, and I'm just eating all that up, that's a lot of protein at once for me. So I have found that evening, whereas I used to sit down and and have another whole meal, usually about 8 ounces of protein, I don't even need that much now. I will just say, hey, I'm in the mood for some salad. I might toss some boiled egg on it, or I might just toss some chicken protein on it. But it's working because I'm not hungry. I ate just enough to get me through to that next meal. So fat, protein, low carb, clean eating, moderation, It's that whole mantra I say over and over and over again. You guys know I'm famous for it. Okay, Lindale is closest to me. I'm in Gainesville. Oh, yep, then that would be your closest bet. It is a tiny store, but hey, works for me. I'm so grateful that our little town has a granary in it. Lindy Paleo Barbie has done a haul. Yes. So if you want to see what Paleo Barbie is doing, you can go check out her channel too. And I did see that she just got a cool haul. She went grocery shopping. She lives right here in Tyler, so we're neighbors. And anyway, get you some. What's in the cup again, Laura? Okay, so it is just flavored French vanilla coffee. I buy the Walmart brand. It's a blue bag. It's just ground coffee with French vanilla flavoring, and then I brew it directly into this cup, and to it I add 2 tablespoons of butter. I add a little bit of heavy cream. I put a few pumps of my sugar-free bourbon, maple bourbon syrup in it, and a dash of pumpkin spice. And then I use my frother and I just froth it all up, and as you can see, it's just creamy. I've got the lid on it. It's still, it's been sitting here now. You can see my pumpkin spice just right on top there. little bit. Yeah, there you go. So good. Tastes like fall, y'all. All right. And does anybody else have any questions about intermittent fasting and how it works? Do I need to go over that? I mean, maybe I should just go over how intermittent fasting works. Because, we've all been here, done that. But for those of you who are new, let me just recap, and we're going to call it good, and we're going to move on. So intermittent fasting can be done many ways. And if you're brand new to it, the best way to start out is figure out what kind of a person you are. Are you the type of person who likes to eat breakfast within an hour of waking up? You need to eat, you've got to eat. If that's the case, that's awesome. And then you eat your lunch a little, maybe, noon, and whatever. You want to take and back it up so that when you get done eating, you are going at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime with nothing to eat. That's it. You're going to get 3 hours at night, 3 to 4 hours at night after dinner, and then you're going to sleep 8, and that's 12. And that's how you start your fast off. You sleep 8 hours of it away. You're fasting when you're sleeping. So if you're used to eating first thing in the morning and you want to push it to maybe an hour, then you've got it to 13 hours that you're fasting. And you can play with it until you find that one window of time that works for you on your eating schedule. A perfect example of how it works in my house now is looking at my husband and myself. I don't like breakfast. I never have. I enjoy my coffee in the morning, and then I like to eat around 11 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 10. Sometimes noon, somewhere in there. Him, on the other hand, he'll wake up at the same time as me, but by 8:30, 9 o'clock, he's ready for his breakfast. He is that breakfast guy, and if he eats well, if he's eating eggs and bacon and sausage and lots of butter, then he probably won't get hungry again until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then he'll maybe just do a light snack because he is a traditionalist and he loves his dinner. Now me, because I like to eat at around 11 o'clock in the morning, I try to have just a couple of eggs, a couple of slices of bacon, a couple of tablespoons of butter. And then around 3 or 4, right around when he's wanting lunch, I'm just now getting where I'm like, I'm ready to eat. That's when I start cooking. I might have a handful of nuts, I might have a little bit of butter in a drink or something like that. But I'm not eating just yet. I'm hitting that 5 o'clock realm, and we kind of are done for the day. So his window goes from about 9 o'clock in the morning until about 6. Mine goes much smaller window. I go from about 11 to 5. However it works for you, whatever your rhythms are, it's called a circadian rhythm. Just follow that and you will be fine. Okay, so I know most of you guys know that, but I really feel like there might be somebody on here who's like, I don't know what intermittent fasting is. So that's what it is. And you can choose how you want to. You don't have to do it every day either, by the way. Just saying. There are days my schedule is so crazy that I don't have time to fiddle with my schedule. I just have to take what I can get. And that's perfectly fine too. All right. I am doing this. We spent a half hour talking about intermittent fasting. So the next, I try to do this in a 1 hour segment because I just like chatting with everybody and giving everybody the opportunity to ask any questions, give you guys updates. So I have been mentioning every single week. Awesome success, yes. I have been mentioning every week that we are getting ready to launch. I'm getting ready to, not we, who's we? Nancy, she's me and Maggie, my dog. A master class. I want to talk about memberships, and I really had to think about how to explain it to everybody. I'm fixing to do a short little video where I just explain it instead of having to do it every time. But I thought about it. What is it? Well, it's when your subscribers can find value in what you're doing, and if they want to, they can show their appreciation. They can just say, hey, I support you, Nancy, like I like what you're doing, and I'd love to be a member of your channel and get this tier. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much. That's great for your giving, and I'm giving, we're giving. Yeah, ooh, that's a great thing. And then, hey, here's some emojis for you to play with. And, it just kind of goes back and forth that way. One of the things as you go up in tiers of becoming a supporter or a giver, however you want to put that, is, down here at this level, you're getting emojis. Up here at this level, you're getting to enter into the master class that is offered once a month just for the members of that tier and higher. I also made a change on my YouTube tier for I think it's the I Love KFRLP. There is going to be a group, I'm going to make that a personal group coaching session once a month. So you're going to just get free coaching. Whoever's in that, it's going to, we don't have to do Zoom. We can just do it right once a month. We're going to go in and we're going to break down what everybody's doing, and we're going to get people on track for the week, and I'm going to give homework assignments too. So it'll be fun. I can't wait to see you there. Super excited about this now. Keto Chow Challenge. Yes, I'm super excited about it. Keto Chow has reached out to me. They asked if I wouldn't mind hosting a challenge, and I could wrap it up all however I wanted to, which I hope to have it all nailed down by today. But it's going to be awesome. How would you love to win free Keto Chow? They're sponsoring it. They're going to ship it out. All I have to do is host it. I'm really, really excited because I haven't really been messing with my Keto Chow because I've been really focusing on just getting fat adapted again. All right. So it's going to be cool. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to be popping in or doing little taste tests of different flavors of Keto Chow, letting people know the week prior to this what flavors I like and which ones not so much. And then I'm going to launch a date. I think it'll be next week where we can do a 3-day Keto Chow challenge. And you can choose to do the challenge any way you find it. Like with intermittent fasting, for instance, you might say, woohoo, I might decide to just eliminate one of my meals, replace it with a Keto Chow shake, make my fat just what I need it, and have one meal a day and see what your body does in 3 days. Some people might want to say, I'm only doing Keto Chow, So it's going to be up to you how you implement it. Keto Chow is also offering a special offer, and I'm not even sure of the details yet. I just know that hopefully it's going to be a pretty good discount. That's what I'm banking on. So free product, 3-day challenge. We might get some weight loss. We can get some free product and get a good discount. I'm excited. What? The other thing is I have to respond to an email today. It's been going slow, but now we're looking at another giveaway, and this one will be on Facebook, y'all. But I'll cross post it. So Simple Living Products is going to be giving away appliances. Oh my God! Yes, they asked me to host that too. Sweet. Oh, thank you, Miss Susie, for that sticker. I appreciate it. I love those little stickers. He's got little hearts, it looks almost like an avocado, but I think it's a pear. We'll just call it an avocado. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Cindy Lyon says, I've never tried Keto Chow. It's a must. Cindy, it is so good. I mean, for those, not just take my word for it, but for those of you watching who do love your Keto Chow, put it in the comments. Let those people who have not tried it, give them your opinion. Love it. What's your favorite flavor? Why do you love it? Do you like how it sits in your refrigerator for a week so you can pre-make it and it's not going to go bad? And here's the thing. To me, it does not taste like a protein shake. That's the downfall of a lot of shakes, you guys, is that when you mix them up and you get those big giant tubs with a big giant scoop and you mix it up, you taste that whey protein. And for whatever reason, Keto Chow has figured out how to make that go away and just let whatever flavor come through. So their chocolate peanut butter rocks. It is my I said it was my absolute favorite, but I'm going to tell you, it's right up there. I got that whole chocolate peanut butter cup, lemon, chocolate peanut butter cup, lemon meringue. So I've got 2 favorites now. Monica says, I really like the vanilla because I can change up the flavors, and the chicken soup makes awesome biscuits. Yes, you know what? I have the chicken soup up in my cabinet too. And I was just thinking about taking, you know how I love things that you can do more than one thing with. So while you can make shakes with all this, you can also really make some fabulous recipes with the protein powder. It is so good. I mean, you guys have tasted my cookies, or hopefully you've tried them. They're so freaky tasty, yummy. But the keto chow chicken base, and I was looking at a pot pie recipe. Because I made a pie crust. So I'm like, I could just easily use the chicken soup as a base and add a little cream and butter, put my chicken in it and some veg and put it in a pie crust and call it good. Angie says, I heart keto chow. It's a meal replacement shake that tastes like lovely, delicious dessert. I love eating dessert for a meal. Yeah, me too, Angie. There ain't nothing better, you know. I have done it even without keto chow. I love having dessert. If I've had a really good meal throughout the day, you know, like I've been eating my fat and getting my protein, and I had a bigger first meal, one of my favorite things to do is take and have ice cream for dinner. Because I'm done. I'm so full. I'm satisfied. I got to snack and watch a TV and do all that. It's just wonderful. It's the best. And it feels naughty, and I think I like that too. Because we grow up as children. You cannot have dessert until you finish all of your food. I'm a grown up. I get to eat dessert first, and only that if that's what I choose. and I'm gonna be healthy while I do it. Oh my gosh. Ooh, please do a chicken pot pie. Yeah, it's that season, y'all. It's September, and we're fixing to go down the fall road. You know, it's time for pot pies and chicken being my favorite. I love chicken or turkey pot pie. I love poultry as my pot pie base, but I'm not opposed to beef either. And you know, when you are making things like pot roast or briskets or anything like that, and you've got extra leftovers, perfect time to make a pot pie in the fall, and just use that as part of your filler. Yes, you guys have got me going now. And that coffee, oh my gosh, is so good. I'm gonna have to eat something though at some point. I can tell I'm getting there. All right, guys, this is, I think, unless you guys have any questions, I'm not going to keep you here until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think that the videos need to cover our topic, deal with it, and I've kind of updated you on everything. Everybody's on Facebook. I think we're all on the same page now because I just did an update there. I think it was, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but just to let you guys know what's coming up your way. The pie. The pie. We have to talk about the pie, right? My husband just got home. He finished off the pumpkin, so sorry you don't get to see it. So sorry. But it was a smaller one. And I'm gonna tell you guys about the pie. I'm gonna tell you this. So I'm going to make it again. And I still have half a pie. This crust holds up beautifully, by the way. All right. I was concerned about the crust getting soggy, not holding up, you know, getting a funky dunky taste after a few days because it's, you know, different ingredients. Not to worry. Not to worry. Let me look at this, you guys. This is, my husband come home today. He is like, This is extra firm because I put too much gelatin in my mixture. But he's like, I don't care. It still tastes good. I was like, yeah, it's an easy fix. But this is why I didn't release it right away, you guys. This is one of the reasons why I have not released it. Because when you're creating a new recipe, just because it worked for me the first time doesn't mean that it won't work for me the second time. So I have to run it through its paces. I have to test it out because what good does it do me to put this together and then say, this is what I did, and then everybody else go, well, it didn't work for me. So I find that if I can make it and then run it through its paces, make sure it tastes consistent each time, that it bakes consistently each time, that these directions that I'm giving you are the steps that you need to take. then I can release it to everybody. And I'm also going to, like I said, the pumpkin, this was delicious. This pie crust right here, I love it. It's stuck to the edge here. But this pie crust, I rolled it out, I stuck it in the oven, I baked it, I pulled it out, I filled it. So it was a pre-baked pie crust with cold cream filling in it. The next day, I took the remainder of the pie crust, which was just a much smaller portion. I used a small casserole dish because to hold the crust. I took a couple of different approaches to it, and I made my pumpkin pie filling. I put it in there. I baked that pie crust from raw through the end. It worked. It was delicious. I got thumbs up. My daughter Melissa does not even like pumpkin. Ooh, holy heck, y'all. Hold on. I gotta go wake her up. She has to be to work in 20 minutes. She's gotta get on me. Hold on. Melissa, come on, show. Okay, yeah, it's like 2:43. Are you sure? I did. I'm not even. I'm live. I'm live. Sorry, babe. Sorry. My daughter had to be to work at 3, and she works nights, and I didn't wake her up, and she usually gets up on her own, but she had a late night, so I feel bad about that. But what I was saying about the pumpkin pie was she doesn't like pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice, pumpkin scents, pumpkin candles. She don't care for none of that. She's just not about it. But when I made that pumpkin pie and I said, taste it, she's like, okay. And so she went, and she ate it all up. She's the first time I've ever liked pumpkin. So that tells you something. Okay. Oh, let's see, you guys. Let's see. Thank you, Nancy. Your yeast rolls are now my go-to for the holidays. Thank you. As a matter of fact, I bought some more yeast. I'm going to mess with it. Now, I was so worried about messing with certain ingredients when I very first started my keto journey that I would not use yeast per se, like to bloom or activate your yeast. You use a teaspoon of sugar and then you mix it in. And I thought about that and I was like, oh no, I can't. And so I didn't. But now I'm in a spot where I have read, and yes, the sugar is eaten. There is no carbs in your yeast once you activate it. So I could either use a teaspoon of sugar, I could use a little bit of honey, or I could use a little bit of molasses, whatever I choose. And I do want to go ahead and go for some yeasty breads and some yeasty things. I'm going to play and see if we can't get a little more lift through the power of yeast instead of just psyllium husks and eggs and vinegar. I mean, that's a good chemical solution right there. But again, I'd like to have a different approach. So nope on pumpkin either. Yeah, I know. We go nuts for pumpkins, right? I kind of do. I didn't overdo it last year, and I don't expect to overdo it this year. Like once a week pumpkin treat to me is great. I used to be the kind of girl who would like every single day all the way from September 1st all the way up to Thanksgiving. I was having pumpkin spice every day. I just got a little older and I'm like, meh, I'll have a pumpkin spice once a week. Tastes pretty good. Makes me appreciate it just a little bit more. All right, so stay tuned for more updates. I have a strategy. This is where we get down to it, guys, because, you know, each week I've laid out my plan going forward for the following week. It has been helpful to me because if you take the time to plan it out, plus use the accountability, like you guys are my accountability. I'm going to have to come to you guys once a week, you know, and talk about what worked, or did I have a hard time, or did I fail, or whatever. So going forward, I'm going to continue. I'm just now breaking into the intermittent fasting. I'm going to continue to use that tool. I'm also going to maybe have a little bit of bulletproof coffee every now and then just to keep my meals down to maybe one good meal and maybe one of these. Of course, next week we will be doing the Keto Chow Challenge. I think that's going to kick off on the 11th. So I might not kick that off until after next Thursday. So I have to look at a calendar to see that. But that's kind of my plan. I'm going to continue to eat clean. I don't have any special strategies this week, just consistency. Consistency, consistency, consistency. High fat, keeping my moderate protein going, keeping my carbs and clean with good greens, broccoli, vegetables, things like that. My cauliflower, and let's see if I get any more results. I'm really pleased right now with this last week. I did not think that I was losing anything. As a matter of fact, I get on the scale and I'm running through my head, okay, what's the scale going to say today? And lo and behold, it changed, and I was like, yeah. So I want to encourage you guys, stay consistent. If you're into your week 3, try the intermittent fasting. If you're not, continue to eat fat until you become fat adapted, and then you can pull that tool out. Stay consistent. Use the group on Facebook for your accountability or support. Share with one another your recipes, your thoughts. That way we can help each other along. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back next Thursday. As far as I know, I always say, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you guys for the super stickers. I really appreciate them. Every little bit counts. And for the club members, you know how I feel. Y'all, I love you so much. Have a blessed week. I'll see you next Thursday. Remember, fats first, moderate protein, low carb, and get you some.